What I didn't want to hear, Chris, was the news that we dreaded. Sadio Mane is going to be leaving the football club.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? It really, really is. The way he's reignited himself over the last 6 months. I think he scored 11 goals in his last 12 games in the Premier League. Integral in our Champions League run and our Premier League run. And also before was absolutely unbelievable in our FA Cup semi-final against Manchester City. He's going to leave, a guy who's a club legend. But I have seen we are looking at replacements already, which makes me happy because I wouldn't have wanted us to leave that position untended, if you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely. 100%, man. I said for months, Chris, I said for months and months and months that I have a feeling Sadio feels disrespected. I have a feeling that it was all about Mohamed Salah. And look, that's not a bad thing. Mo deserves, to be talked about for a new deal. You can't forget Sadio. And I feel like I feel like the image of him on the bus celebrating with the lads with the baseball cap on and the scarf around his neck, or he kind of just looked awkward. I think that just summed up the entire situation for me. But I've been a little bit galvanized by the fact that any Liverpool fan that I've seen comment on the situation has been very respectful and said exactly what we all think, that if Sadio was to move on, then he certainly will go with a massive thank you for 6 years amazing service to the club. And I think he was probably the start of the revolution.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He came as a right winger, made himself as a left, and revolutionised his game as a centre forward. He's been there in every step of our success. Every single season with Sadio Mane in the team, we finished in the Champions League places. He has been admirable in his professionalism as well. I think we'll look back on Sadio Mane a lot more fondly than we actually realise. I think because of the adulation that Salah gets, and maybe the love that Virgil van Dijk gets, and maybe the love that Alisson gets, that we haven't really given as much love to Sadio Mane, whereas you see the likes of, I don't know, Torres, of Suarez, they played in eras where they were the main men. And Sadio Mane could have been a main man. He could have had that time. And I just think we'll look back on him now a lot more fondly than we've really appreciated him as a Liverpool player.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And it's sad to see it move. But if we do accept, and I know there are people in the chat that are still trying to hope for this not to go the way it's looking like it's going. But look, I know Chris has his own sources and friend or journalists that he would speak to. Everybody I've spoken to about it has said he's off. And I know whilst you haven't heard anything concrete on it yet, the fact that it's starting to be briefed, Chris, that we won't sell him until we have a replacement lined up kind of lets us know. I think the writing's on the wall.
And I think it's business-wise, is it a terrible decision? I don't think it is. The man's 30 years old. Now, I know that a lot of FIFA fans or Football Manager fans will be thinking, "Oh God, he's getting a bit on a bit here." He's still
got EA Sport FC.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, EA Sports FC. Forgotten about that one. But yeah, they'll be thinking, yeah, he's getting past his prime. He's still got 2 or 3 years left, I think, at the absolute peak of his levels. To get our money back, maybe a little bit more for him, and to get a younger, hungry replacement who hasn't tasted the success that Sadio already has with Liverpool. Is it a bad decision, even on the face of it? I don't think so, personally.
I might get absolutely hounded for this, but I'd have rather we sold Salah.
Really?
It's not, I don't mean that to say I don't want Mohamed Salah at the club, but if we had to lose one of these two, I would suggest Sadio is the one who's convinced me that his legs aren't going, or he's not maybe starting to drop off a bit. I do have my concerns about Mohamed Salah and just the incredible toll of football and mental fatigue that he's been through. Yeah, I would have kept Sadio over Mo, but I would have liked to keep them both, of course.
Obviously, I think I just slightly disagree. I just think
it's understandable, man. I mean,
absolutely, and
they're both top tier.
What would the world be without people having different opinions, eh? And I just think that the Mo Salah overall he's still in the shape of his life. I don't think this form is going to be permanent. I think we've seen with Sadio, if we asked this question 6 months ago, there would only be one answer.
100% agree with you, and I'd have given you that answer as well. 100%.
Exactly. And look, I'm just going to stick with him. I just think that the numbers don't lie. However much he may have disappointed occasionally in big occasions, I just think you can't let go of a player who scored 30 goals on three occasions, always scored over 25 goals in a season. Like, it's just irreplaceable, I think.
I think for me, there's a couple of things on that. Half of being a good manager these days is knowing when players are just past their peak and are just on that downward slope. And I don't think Sadio's on that downward slope, but I do think Mohamed Salah maybe is. But again, I don't have the access to the data.
If he is
But
on his downward slope, that might mean he scores 25 goals instead of 30.
yeah, perhaps, perhaps. But I also
Yeah.
can't lie, Chris, in saying that the entire saga, the phrase "the fans know what I want," mate, I won't lie. I've lost a little bit of the gloss has been taken off Mo for me over the last few months with how this has all played out and the fact that it's still not resolved.